it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I have been seeing video titles floating around, something like top 3 makeup products in each category, and that seems so interesting to me. I want to do that for you today. Now, I will tell you, I have been saving all of these videos that I want to watch in a private playlist so I can watch them after I recorded mine, because I didn't want to be influenced by anybody else's favorites, because there's a lot of people who I love and who I think very highly of, and if I were to watch their, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. So I went through everything here. The one thing I want to make sure you know is I'm in the midst of a makeup declutter, and I've been going through and ruthlessly cutting each of these categories at least in half. Out of everything that I had, like half of it is gone. And so what's left is the stuff that I already really like and works well for me, and I know works well for me, or stuff that is new enough that I'm still trying. So basically what I'm hanging on to here and what we're talking about, the majority of this stuff is what I know I love with my whole heart, and some of it was hard to come by. All right, let's just get started. I will tell you right off the bat, I almost never wear primer, so I'm not gonna even list anything for primer. I'm gonna go straight into foundation. And I was thinking about the types of foundation I like to wear. I like to wear sheer lightweight foundations that look glowy and skin-like. And then if I'm going to wear something that is full coverage, I wanna know that if I put you on, you're not going anywhere. So in that vein, putting you on and not going anywhere, Estee Lauder Double Wear. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. I like that I'm able to, if I have like, you know, really glowy skin with a lot of juicy skincare, I can put this on thinly and it turns into kind of like a skin tint. If I use several pumps, I get full coverage. So on the days that I have acne or things that I'm trying to deal with and I'm like, not today, or no one's gonna see you, I can use a more concentrated level of this on whatever it is I'm trying to cover. And if I want like really glowy, glassy skin, I can use like a half a pump of this in my hands. I know it sounds kind of terrible. And then just kind of press it in places and then just use whatever is left over, like for redness of the nose, but it's a really lightweight. So I can either thin it out or really pack it on, and it's amazing and it stays. And Estee Lauder has a really great range of shades. The type of foundation that I really like to wear is lighter weight. This is one of my absolute favorites. I don't know, I'd probably say I had been laying down. I'm probably like to here with it. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. I wear the lightest shade, which is 10 Ivory. This is a beautiful foundation. If you're thinking about, first of all, I like that it has kind of like this really nice pointed nozzle so you don't get too much out. It's very lightweight, but it also looks very skin-like. I like that it doesn't end up looking too radiant, even though radiant is in the title. It's one of those products where it just looks good on the skin. What's great about this is you're getting kind of medium, light medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's full on medium, but it's not light. So there is coverage involved. It is radiant. It tends to, as the day progresses and your natural oils come through, it tends to look more and more skin-like, which I like. I try not to let it collect around the corners of my nose, because my nose, and especially the corners, is where I end up getting a little bit greasy. But if I blot those areas and add a little bit of powder, it's fabulous. I love this. It wears well on me all day long. And I should tell you, I have combo skin. It's pretty much normal everywhere, but in my T-zone, especially my nose area here and a little bit on my forehead, I can be just a little bit extra glowy. All right, the last foundation product I wanted to share with you is this. It's from M Cosmetics. This is their Daydream cushion. I have liked this. Mine is a mess because I use it all the time. It's the one that I'm wearing today. It's a little bit messy because I just stuck my finger straight in there. But what I like about this is not only is it a beautiful match, it's hydrating. So if you have oily skin, you probably wouldn't like this, but I like that it looks very skin-like. It has a level of reflection on there. So this is bare and this is where I get the coverage from this product. I like also that it's not super heavy. I would say this is a light medium coverage. You can build it up. I find that this gets a little bit dewier and glowier than the one from L'Oreal, but I like the way that when I'm done putting it on, it doesn't really look like I'm wearing foundation. Part of that is making sure you have the right shade, and I wear the lightest shade. But beyond that, it also looks like skin. You know, it looks like, not dry skin, but well hydrated skin. It doesn't look thick, it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look cakey. It just looks beautiful. When it comes to concealers, I like something that is hydrating. I like something that is even slightly radiant, and I wouldn't say like highlight radiant, but like has a little bit of light reflecting particles to it so that my under eye circles don't look so intensely dark. One of my favorites is more than halfway gone here. This is from L'Oreal. It's the Age Perfect Radiance one. This is a radiant concealer. I love this. Again, this is the lightest shade. I feel like this product and their serum foundation are really beautiful. I wish they made a lighter shade than this. That would be perfect for me. But this has a claim that I was like, yeah, right. I've seen 100 different concealers make the claim, and it's that it doesn't crease. Now, we all know that after a certain point, if you have texture and creasing in this under eye area, you put something there, it's gonna start going into that textural different place. I don't have the under eyes of a 12-year-old. That is not what I have going on, but I'll tell you, this doesn't like collect in ways where I feel like all day long I have to be tapping it out. I feel like it stays where I put it and it doesn't migrate. That's a really big deal to me. Most of my other concealers, I will tap them out, you know, tap one eye out, and then I get to the other one, and by the time I open whatever powder I'm going to be using and I start with the first eye, I have to re-tap it out because everything is migrated into all of my little fine lines and creases. That doesn't happen with this. I really like it. Now, I never wear my concealer without setting at least my under eyes with powder, so I don't know if this would all day be exactly where I put it from the beginning of the day, but I like that it doesn't, you know, in 90 seconds, like kind of like settle into the creases and crinkles. I feel like it's got a nice medium coverage. It's not super heavy coverage, but it actually is beautiful. Another one that I have fallen in love with head over heels is the Stretch Concealer from Glossier. This is a very different type of concealer. It comes in a pot. I use my finger, sometimes I'll use a brush, but it has a very different look to it. This is the shade G11. And it's right here. So it does have a little bit of glowiness to it. It does have a little bit of kind of like a pretty sheen. And there are days that I use just this all over my face. I'll start under the under eyes, and then let's cancel out a little bit of redness around the corners of my nose, and then on my chin. And then it's like, I've got this dark spot over here. Let me plop a little bit of it over. And the next thing I know, with a very small kind of fluffy brush like this, I'm able to go all over, and I'm not like putting it everywhere. Like I'll start here, I'll go here on my chin and a little bit here, and that's enough. I get such beautiful, like diffused skin-like perfection from this. I really like it. I also find that this doesn't instantly collect in all of my fine lines, crinkles, and crevices. I really like this. I just had a cat hair I couldn't get off my lip, and I had to like wipe it off, so lipstick's a little different. I find that this works really well, and then later on in the day, if I feel like I need just a little bit more, I can grab a little bit of this and put it where I need it. Even over a set face, it works really well. I like this a lot. This is fairly new, and I didn't think I was going to like it. I've had it for about 3.5 weeks now, and I can't stop using it. And it's the Radiant Concealer from Estee Lauder. This is our Double Wear Radiant Concealer. I have the lightest shade in 0.5. And this is kind of what I'm considering my full coverage, like all your sins are forgiven, because it is not just a little bit of, it's a lot of coverage. So if you can see that it's a very different level of coverage compared to the other. But what I like about this, you can see how this is lighter and sheer, this is lighter and sheer, and this is like, hello, I'm here. I like that this concealer is basically, it stays where I put it. It stays all day. It doesn't make my under eye look crepey or crusty. I also like that it really does blank out the area. I think you can see that. So if I'm going for a lighter makeup day, I'll reach for the Glossier or the L'Oreal. But if I really want like everything to be gone, this is my new favorite, and you need the smallest amount. Powders are one of those things that I love, but I have a really high criteria for. I don't want to use multiple powders. I want to use one powder. I want a powder that looks good under my eyes. I want a powder that's going to set my face but not look heavy, because the older I get, I have texture here and here. And if I have too much powder and it looks powdery and it looks heavy, it makes me look older, and I don't like that. One of my longtime faves is the Ambient Lighting Powder from Hourglass. This is the shade Diffused Light. Mine has a serious divot in the pan, but it's a lightweight, slightly radiant powder. I love this product. I have had a pan of this since I discovered it 15 years ago, and I have never been without. Every time, you know, it finished, I grab another one. I have the the holiday sets like this, and a lot of them come with diffused light. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. The reason I like it is it makes my under eyes just a little bit brighter, but it doesn't make my under eyes look heavy when I'm setting my concealer. That's why I love this. Another one that I fell in love with last year, I tried for the first time, and at first I was like, wait, I don't know. It's because of the color. It's from Beauty Pie. This is their One Powder Wonder. And this is the reason why I was like, wait, I don't know, because it looks frighteningly white in the pan. So I have it right here on my middle finger. You'll see there is a little bit of radiance to it, hardly any at all. But I find that even swirling my finger in the pan twice, the minute you kind of buff it in, you get the luminosity and it sets, but you can't tell there's anything under your eye. If you pack it on, pack it on, pack it on, I can sometimes see it under my eye, but not anywhere else. So there will be days where I will, okay, there's a lot of white powder on here. But as I go around and put it on my face, I don't really see that white powder. Now, I am really fair. I wear either the lightest or second to lightest shade in most foundations, almost always the lightest shade in concealers. So being a fair person, this powder is perfect for me, but I like the fact that it sets and it's undetectable. Really, really, really undetectable, and it has this slight radiance to it. And the older I get, the more of that slightly glowy, pretty look is what I'm looking for. The last powder I have is Glossier's Lauder. I tried this when they first launched it, and their lightest shade was too deep for me. So they have since expanded their shade range, which makes me super happy. So it comes with a little mesh net and a little tamper here to make sure that you don't have stuff everywhere, but it's a very lightweight powder. This is the one that I have been reaching for recently to set my under eye with, because I feel like out of all three of these powders, this is the one I see the least. I'll grab a really small brush like this, pick up a little bit of powder, knock off the excess, and just hit the under eye. And I love the way this looks. I really like this powder. I picked it up at the beginning of October, and I haven't been using anything else to set my under eye with. Like, it's really good. Really, really, really good. One of my longtime loves when it comes to bronzer is Benefit's Hoola Light. I could never use their original Hoola. I like mine so much, it hit pan. But I could never use their original Hoola because I have really fair skin, and it looked like either a bruise or I had been rolling in the dirt. And this is a super, super light shade of bronzer, but it works beautifully on me. Just enough, not too much. This is great. I feel like it's also really blendable, and I know that when I finish this, I will definitely want another one. There are some products, okay, when I finish it, I want to try something else. No, I think that I would want to get this again. This one is kind of interesting. This is new to my collection. I picked it up this summer, but you can see it's really dirty. I reach for it all the time. This is the So Soft bronzer from M Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Summer. It's the lightest shade that M makes. It's definitely a little bit deeper in a swatch than the one from Benefit, but when you start blending it, it blends to utter perfection. So full swatch, and this is it blended right here. Oh, so good. I use this on days when I'm doing cream products on my cheeks. I will set my under eye, my forehead, my nose and chin, and then I keep all of this dewy and glowy. It's so good. I have used this before. Like I'll finish my foundation and then I'll put this on and a cream blush and then set my face. That works really well too, but I love this product so, so much. One product that I wished I had purchased right when it launched, and I kind of kick myself for not doing it, is this. This is the Goss Radiance Boosting Face Palette. This is the lightest shade in light gold. Now I know that the shade here looks kind of like the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in the 70s, like where they look orange and green. It's not. It's beautiful. I can use this and use, there are some people who I see who just bronze the face and they don't wear any blush and that's it. I could never do that. The colors were not suited to my skin tone. This one is. I also really love this cooler, it's not quite flat matte. It has just a little, and it's not shimmer, just a little bit of natural skin-like quality in this contour shade here. The contour and the bronzer together are absolutely gorgeous. It's what I'm wearing today. It's super lightweight. I do use one of Wayne's brushes, so I feel like a natural hair brush really helps to diffuse this in a beautiful way. But if you're thinking about, you know, is this product too much? I don't think so. So I just put some of it on right here. And I feel like it has a really pretty glow to the skin, but it never looks orange and it never looks overdone. And it's always just really, really pretty. This is one of the few bronzers that I have that I can wear just bronzer and not feel like I need a blush over the top. It brings life to the face unlike any other product that I have. I love this so much. So if you've watched my channel at all since June, you've probably heard me talk about these blushes nonstop. These are the Enlivening blushes from Lisa Eldridge. They're absolutely gorgeous. This has become my new favorite shade and it's the deepest one she makes. It's called Venetian Red. You need very, very little of it, but it blends beautifully. And I feel like all of the blushes that she has, if you need more color, you definitely can build it up. I purposefully really sheared it out because this is how I wear it. I have 3 of these shades. I think they're beautiful. They look skin-like, they blend to perfection. They're super easy to use. They're basically foolproof and I love them. Another blush that I absolutely am head over heels for is the new Pat McGrath Divine Blushes. I only have one shade. I want to get more, but I'm trying to remind myself not to over purchase. This is the shade Nude Venus. It's the blush that I'm wearing today, and my favorite thing about this is that when you swatch it, it has a little bit of radiance to it. It's not a completely flat matte. It is so pretty. It has a beautiful glow to it. There are days that I'll wear just this, and I'm not wanting a really blingy, highlighty look, so I won't put anything else on. So, so beautiful. Another product that I have loved for a long time that I feel is just an amazing blush. You really can't go wrong. There are multiple shades of this. It's the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow. This is the shade Magic Hour and it is a peachy pink. So this is one of those that you can definitely see has some radiance to it. I love a glowy blush, but I don't want it to look like I'm wearing, it's right here. I don't want it to look like I'm wearing highlights. It has a slight shine and skin-like look where it doesn't look flat, doesn't look matte. It looks just a little bit, not sparkly, not highlighty, just not like matte color. I love this. I also have another shade. I have Venetian Rose, which I think is beautiful. I really love the M blushes. I hope they come out with more shades in this formula. So good. So I've been struggling to kind of narrow my options for highlight. I have so many highlights that I love with my whole heart. I got rid of everything that was just taking up space and wasn't beautiful and didn't bring me joy. I kind of Marie Kondoed my entire highlight collection, and what I'm left with was like a dilemma. I love them all. Which one should I share with you? Okay. Lisa Eldridge. This is the Elevated Glow. I know I talk a lot about Lisa's products, but I feel like she's not putting anything out that isn't excellent. And that, of course, is from my perspective, but I'm also one of those people that I also really align with Lisa's kind of makeup ethos, the way she does makeup, what she wants to look like when she's fully made up. She doesn't look like an Instagram model. She doesn't look like a young TikToker wearing, you know, bright blue eyeshadow. She can wear blue eyeshadow, and she does sometimes, but it really is more of a me but in color, but not, because I feel like even today I'm wearing more makeup than she normally would. She really keeps it minimal, and I love that minimal me but in color look. And this highlight right here does everything I want to highlight to do. This is the lightest shade she makes in Crystal Nebula, and every time, without fail, that I wear this, somebody asks me what I'm wearing. Like, I was at the grocery store and I was in a mask, and the last time I was wearing this, like, a random lady in produce stopped me. He's like, "Your skin looks so pretty. What are you wearing?" I said, "Oh, it's a highlight product that I have." And I literally told it to her, and she brought out her phone and, you know, she like wrote it down. She was so wanting to know what it was. And I think it's miraculous. One of my favorites. Another favorite product for me. I remember the first time I got this, it totally changed the way I thought about highlight. And it's the Living Luminizer from RMS. I talk about this a lot. I use it a lot. I hadn't had it in a while, but I picked it up during the spring sale from Sephora. So it's one of those products. It can look a little white at first, and they have this formula in multiple shades. They have, you know, champagne-y shades. They have more of a bronzy shade. They've got like a lot of different types, but the Living Luminizer is the one. It just looks like glowy skin. I love this so much. I'm glad I have this again in my collection. I love the way this looks on my skin, and I don't lay it on quite that heavy, but it gives me such a glowy, healthy look. Oh, I love. My last favorite highlight is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Bar of Gold palette. This was a holiday thing that she brought out, oh, I don't know how many years ago. Must have been 3 or 4 years ago, but I love this. You see how beat up mine is? I use it all the time. It's what I'm wearing today. And I love that you get 3 shades in here, and they are absolutely beautiful and metallic. And I do something that I normally wouldn't do. Here they are swatched right here for you. I just grab my little Wayne Goss airbrush. I run it over the top of all of them and then just lightly place it right where I want it. I love these shades, and I never thought that I would be mixing in kind of like a bronzy shade. You know, I would stick more in this white gold over here. No, I'm going in all of them, and I'm hitting, and I have to be careful because this is a really blingy, very over the top sort of highlight, so you have to be careful. And because it can be it is a little powdery sometimes, so I always go over it and buff. I'll make sure to knock all the product off, and then I'll take time just buffing it in, and I feel like it takes it from looking like a little stripey and a little overly glitzy to like blend it in nicely with my skin. There's a lot of really beautiful highlighters out there, but these guys here really, really make me happy. I feel like this is a great place to just put a pin in it for now. I feel like if I keep going, this video is going to be so long, nobody's going to want to watch it. It'll just get unwieldy. So I'm going to do part 2, which will involve lips, eyes, eyebrows, mascara, liner, like the rest of what I would need to get finished. I would love to know, you know, you might have 3 or 4 concealers. What's the one you're always reaching for? You might have like a drawer full of powder. What's your top 2 or 3? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.